All right. So, as we mentioned earlier, we got more bills coming, guys. So, with the stalking and harassment bill, if you are in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, tomorrow at 6 p.m., Auckland Women's Centre, they have an info evening about the bill. So, we're getting our first ever law against stalking and harassment, which, like, when you think about that, that's quite crazy that we're only just getting this in 2025. But I guess, what, women got the right to vote back in the 1800s. So yeah, that feels fast enough. That feels fast enough. But yeah, so submissions are open till February 13th. So I figured if we could maybe start, talking about it now, being aware of this one a bit early, because I think this is definitely going to be an important one. And yes, I've just seen a comment. We don't have laws for stalking and harassment. Yes, we don't, because and that is why. Actually, I'll open up the actual thing itself. But yeah, I mean, it is insanity that that's happening. But yeah, in Auckland, they're having just a discussion about the bill, what should be in it, what's its strengths, its limitations. I really wish that I was in Tamaki because I would love to go to this. So if anyone in the Discord's going to this, please, if you've got notes, please share them in the Discord. And obviously, given what it's about, please bear in mind that if you go to this event, that there'll be conversations that are quite triggering. So, but obviously, still very important corridor to be had, and that's obviously another reason why I thought, we do have to start talking about this. And, I'm not sure about yourself, Ems, but I have definitely had my fair share of instances with stalking and harassment. So I am
Yeah,
quite keen for this bill.
I have not, funnily enough.
I
The
love that. No,
closeness.
you know what? That's actually awesome. I love that. Do not make that face. I fucking
Well,
love that.
there's only been one instance where I literally feared for my life and I had no idea what was happening. So
Oh,
I used
only
to
one.
I used to have 6 a.m. figure skating sessions and when I was at university, and the bus stop I had to get to was in I had to go through a park, and the park really doesn't have any lightings, but it's a straight through line, otherwise I have to go around
Mhm.
and it takes about an extra 10 minutes. And this one morning I was
Yeah.
walking, it was still pitch black, and there was this guy walking ahead of me, and I try and usually, like, there are things that you do as a female that are just instinctive of like, I don't trust whatever this person's doing.
Mhm.
It come from a place of defensiveness as opposed to like, oh, it'll be fine. So I kind of made myself quite quiet with my footsteps. And then this guy kind of veers off the path and just like stands under the shadow of a tree
Oh, yeah.
and doesn't
Yeah.
move. And I'm like,
Mhm.
my bus is coming. What is he doing? And so I literally
Yeah.
stop, panic, and I'm like, oh, there's only one way through this. Walked, started veering off to like go the other way across the grass. And as soon as I came within running distance of him, I just shot for the bus. And that is the most terrified I've ever been in my life.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that shouldn't have to happen, but it is so common, and that's why I'm like excited for this bill because like I don't even think I can count the amount of times that I've had to worry about these things. Like I have literally been at work and had to get security guards to like remove people.
Mm.
Uh actually I went to have a cry at the waterfront, right? I was having a day. Things were not good. I just wanted to have a cry by the water.
Yeah.
You know what? I had to cut my cry short because some guy started conveniently walking back and forth past me about 4 times
Mm.
within about the span of maybe 30 minutes. And
Mm.
I went to move to have my cry somewhere else. Guess who fucking turned up? So I went home.
Mm. Fair enough.
I
Fair
couldn't
enough.
even cry in peace.
Yeah. I I don't think of any, yeah, I can't think of anything that's come to mind, but regardless, like I'm not uh I'm
I don't
probably
want
the
you to be able to
exception.
bring
I'm the
too much to the fucking
exception.
mind.
I'm the exception, not the rule. That's for sure. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, because like this is for anyone who's interested. Obviously, you know where to find them, but like it's gonna create stalking and harassment offence in the Crimes Act because this one's technically a crimes bill. So um, it's going to introduce, you know, different factors because that's the other thing too is that because we have, they're going to expand the definition of psychological abuse to include stalking because
mm,
obviously, this kind of behavior has just only been increasing, especially when you consider like the internet of it all. The ability to harass and stalk is now like greater than ever. And so it's quite important to make sure that, we definitely do a bit more looking into this, talking about it. And yeah, I mean, I can think of so many people I know who have had issues with this stuff and it's bullshit. It's just bullshit. And it's not even just like, women, like queer people have a lot of issues with these things.
mm,
Like the queer community deal with this shit so much.
mm-hmm,
And so it's just like, and then God, add on being a queer woman or a queer trans woman. Oh my God.
mm. And the rhetoric that comes
It's
with the ideas that get
and
peddled
that's
around
the
there, and
thing.
bathrooms, and God knows what else. So
Exactly. And then it
yeah.
just becomes so much worse.
I
And
saw
so
this
yeah.
by Peter.
Mm,
I've always been conscious of being a fairly large man, so I back off and check my phone or across the street from a woman who might be nervous by my presence. Good on you, and
thank
thank
you.
you. But it is really sad that you have to do that. But
But
I
I'm
think,
actually I'm no, it's not even sad. I'm just glad that you're actually taking the like you're doing the things. You're
yeah,
like, that's the kind of behavior, the buffer behavior that we need.
yeah,
Because you know what? When people do stuff like that, it does help.
yeah,
When
it
there
makes
are
us feel a
women
little bit
who are
safer.
worried, yeah, when there are people who, not even just women, when there are people who are worried, if they're like, oh, okay, you're not doing some weird, creepy stuff, it does help.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, I
I love the
appreciate
memes that I've seen on TikTok of like gay men being like me walking past a woman in the forest, like, hey girl, hope you're having a great walk, just to like make her feel more comfortable. And I love it. I think it's great.
it.
It brings a little lightness to a really dark situation.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to having more discussion about that because it'd be
Yeah, no, we'll
interesting to see if there's
definitely.
anything that comes out. The only thing I can think of that is more recent was the murder of a. I believe she was murdered after she did report stalking, but it wasn't enough to be considered. And I think it was by the third harassment. I think she was murdered, which is really sad.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think like which one because my brain's like, oh, there's been so many over the
it's
years.
not a
Like
good thing. It
I
came
can
out.
still think of so many
I'm
of
not sure if it
them.
happened later last year, but I'm pretty sure the sentencing was perhaps later last year.
Nah, yeah. Well, and I mean, I wouldn't
Comes
be
to mind, but I
surprised
can't
if
think what it
that's
was.
something that's been pushing, like they've been using to push this bill. Because that's the thing is, I can think of instances probably from well over the last 15 years at minimum of women getting harassed by men
Hmm.
and them asking for help and the cops going, I can't do much about it, especially when it comes to the online and the like, digital side of it as well. Like, you know, the amount of times people get the most threatening messages and harassment beyond belief. And then also have these people turning up places as well. But that's still not enough. Like, it's insane that they basically have to actually assault you physically for them to intervene.
The one I'm thinking of was this one. It happened in 2022. Fazana
Oh,
Yaquibi.
yes.
She
Yeah, I
reported
vaguely know
to.
one.
She initially complained to the police via the 105 online reporting system 2 months earlier, identifying her stalker and providing messages the man was sending her, including one with he threatened to throw acid on her face. A report by the police watchdog says the law student later updated her complaint, saying she feared for her life. She made a formal statement at the police station December 2022, and then 2 weeks later she was stabbed when she got off the bus. That's awful.
Yeah, that's fucking horrible. And
The
that's the
fact that she
thing
even
is like,
reported it, but nothing happened to it.
yeah, and look what happened. She tried to, and that's the thing is, she went to the place. You're told if you have trouble, go to the police.
Mm.
And then people go to the police and they get no help because the police are arresting a boy on Christmas Day for a fucking boxing bloody t shirt.